Jayson Tatum, I think he might be the most complete offensive player in the game right now.
Trending toward best player in the game.
About this morning for a long time. You have to break up the duo of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
As bad as we all would like to see it work, they can't coexist.
Is Jayson Tatum the most overlooked star in the NBA? At times, it seems like the media overlooks Jayson Tatum while promoting the likes of Luka Doncic and Anthony Edwards, despite Tatum's MVP-level statistics and leading the Boston Celtics in back-to-back deep playoff runs. This is perplexing because when comparing his career trajectory to theirs, Tatum's path mirrors that of some of the greatest legends of the game has ever seen. Yet, he is rarely mentioned as the next face of the NBA, which raises the question, why? Jayson Tatum was one of the hottest NBA prospects, selected by the Boston Celtics as the third overall pick in the 2017 NBA Draft. He did not disappoint. The 19-year-old Tatum played a significant role in the Celtics' playoff run during his rookie year, helping them reach the Eastern Conference Finals. He went toe-to-toe with LeBron James, delivering performances that would be impressive for any seasoned veteran, let alone a teenager. Tatum surpassed the 20-point mark in several playoff games, even breaking Larry Bird's rookie franchise record. He solidified his place in Celtics lore with a dunk on LeBron in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. At that point, the media couldn't get enough of him, labeling him a future star who could eventually lead the Celtics to a championship in the post-LeBron era. He was the future, and everyone knew it. However, just as quickly as Tatum began to rise, the attention started to fade. It wasn't because Tatum underperformed, far from it. Season after season, Tatum continued to improve his scoring, defense, and playmaking. Yet, other young stars began to emerge, and the narrative shifted. Luka Doncic, who entered the league a year after Tatum, was embraced by the media much faster. His flashy playmaking and solo performances led many analysts to proclaim him as the next face of the NBA. Anthony Edwards, in the early stages of his career, also began to capture attention with his athleticism and charisma. The media ran with this, hyping him as another future star, even though he had yet to lead his team to a significant playoff run. Meanwhile, Tatum quietly did what was expected of a star, leading his team deep into the playoffs year after year. How was he overlooked as early as 2020 when he was an all-star and had just completed his second Eastern Conference Finals appearance? It seemed as though his consistency and success were being taken for granted. So, why the indifference? Part of the issue is the curse of early success. When Tatum took the Celtics to the conference finals in his first season, the expectations for him skyrocketed. Suddenly, he wasn't just a promising young player. He was expected to lead the team to a championship right away. However, no young player can immediately live up to such expectations. Even the greatest players in NBA history didn't win titles in their early 20s. Michael Jordan didn't win his first championship until he was 28. LeBron James had to wait until he was 27, and Steph Curry was also 27 when he won his first ring. Yet, somehow, the media made it seem as if anything less than a championship for Tatum would be a failure. This set an unreasonable standard. If Tatum didn't win a title, he wasn't good enough. If he led the Celtics deep into the playoffs but didn't win, it was treated as a disappointment, rather than a testament to his growth and consistency. The 2022 NBA Finals marked a crucial moment in Tatum's media narrative. Coming off a season in which he led the Celtics to their first finals appearance in over a decade, he had the opportunity to silence his critics once and for all. This was his moment, a chance to prove he could be a champion. However, things didn't go as planned for Tatum or the Celtics. He struggled in the series against the Golden State Warriors, averaging 21.5 points per game on a 36.7% shooting. He also set an unfortunate record by turning the ball over 100 times during the playoffs, more than any player in NBA history. The media quickly pounced on these struggles, criticizing his supposed lack of killer instinct and questioning his ability to win at the highest levels. Lost in this criticism was the fact that Tatum was still only 24 years old, playing on the biggest stage against one of the most dominant teams of the last decade. While his shooting struggles were evident, his overall contributions, especially in rebounding and playmaking, were still significant. Yet the media focused on his shortcomings, framing the finals as a failure rather than a valuable learning experience. Instead of shrinking from the finals loss, Tatum came back stronger. In the 2022-2023 season, he made significant improvements, averaging a career-high 30.1 points per game and setting a Celtics franchise record for the most 30-point games in the season. He also became the youngest player in NBA history to make 1,000 career three-pointers. Perhaps his defining moment came in Game 7 of the 2023 playoffs against the Philadelphia 76ers. With the season on the line, Tatum delivered a historic performance, scoring 51 points, setting the record for most points in Game 7, and surpassing Steph Curry's previous mark. It was the kind of performance that should have reestablished him as one of the league's elite players. And yet, even after that, the media narrative didn't fully shift. Tatum had proven he could perform in the biggest moments, but for some reason, his name still wasn't mentioned alongside Doncic or Edwards when discussing the future face of the league. The media has always held Tatum to a different standard than most of his peers. Luka Doncic may be incredibly talented, but he has never advanced further than the conference finals. Yet, he is constantly talked about as a future MVP. Anthony Edwards, despite his promise, hasn't achieved anything close to Tatum's playoff success. Yet, he is still hyped as the next great player. Meanwhile, Tatum has consistently carried his teams deep into the playoffs, but rarely receives the same level of respect. A portion of this can be attributed to the unfair expectations placed on him early in his career. Because he experienced early success, it seems the media now expects a championship from him, without affording him the same growth curve as other stars. The media may have been late to appreciate Tatum, but he has continued to perform at a high level. At age 26, he is already a 4-time All-Star and a 2-time All-NBA player with multiple deep playoff runs to his name. He consistently breaks franchise records and improves every year. Moreover, Tatum's game is still evolving. Every year he adds a new dimension to his play, becoming a better ball handler, passer, and defender. He's also grown as both an on-court and off-court leader, earning respect as one of the league's top players. Although the media may have been slow to recognize him, his performance speaks for itself. He has achieved more in his career thus far than many of the players who receive far more media attention. Tatum continues to prove that he belongs in the conversation as one of the NBA's brightest stars. With hard work, talent, and leadership, his best days are still ahead.